Alright, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you this video editing workstation from about 1998. It is a Macrosystem Casablanca. This was sold as an all-in-one video editing thing in the late 90s by the company Macrosystem, who started I think with this thing and then went on to PC based stuff as a box that you feed all your footage into and you can edit up a video and then you can export it. It's quite a large unit, it looks like a bit of hi-fi equipment, but we'll start at the front, we'll go around the back and then I'll explain inside what the hardware is. On the front we've got the power button on the left, we've got a little flap down here, and in there we've got S-video and left and right RCA audio in. Over on the right hand side we've got that dimple there, and in the middle we do have a screen, and this front flips down to reveal the ports we've just described: a hard drive bay and a floppy disk drive. I think it's quite a small SCSI drive, I think it's like 9 or 10 gig. And then round with back we've got the power input. It's got its own internal power supply, so it's just a normal C13 240 volt input. And we've got a sticker which is, well, coming off, detailing the serial number, the model of the system, and there's 3 boxes here for different modules or upgrades, just to depending on the specification that you ordered it with. So this one's got the rendering accelerator, but it doesn't have the DV option or the DSP board. The DV option being the mini DV input. Although it does have the socket for it, there's a module inside that sits and plugs into the board that the mini DV is on. It doesn't have that, unfortunately. We've got a SCART out, as it says, video RGB audio, audio outputs, left and right channels, SVHS out, so S-video out, audio inputs, and an S-video input. And then underneath here we've got some ports that look like a PC or something. We've got this one, this one, and this one. So this is the mouse port. So it's I think it's a DE9 connector. This one is one of these is parallel and one of these is like a floppy drive connector, I believe. And then you can see we've got an AT keyboard connector on the right. Taking the cover off reveals the internals. You can see we've got the power supply area over here. You can see the back of the floppy drive there. The hot swappable, removable caddy thing for the disk drive, and some other stuff going on like these 2 rails, some various wiring, and just about this board over here that you can see. We've got the ports at the front that connect to this main board here. You can see we've got some nice connectors on there. I believe this one is where the DV module would sit, and then a wire would connect to the port on the back over here. This connector is the same as the one below it, and I think that's where the other option board would have fit originally. To get any further into this you have to take off the caddy thing at the front here, so I'll just go ahead and do that. And I'll leave that plugged in there because it's quite hard to get out. Underneath here you can see that we've got a couple of SIM slots and this thing with a fan on it and like a gold heatsink and stuff, as well as some connectors that look quite familiar. Got Molex for power and another fan at the front here. So this machine is sort of loosely based on an Amiga. I believe it runs on Amiga OS. So when you boot it up, it's strange because you'll get the click of the floppy disk drive, and it'll do like the grey screen and then go to black and then start loading up the software for the Casablanca stuff. It has a Motorola 68060 processor. It's not the full-blown one. I think it's missing the FPU or something like that. I'll have to get the exact part number up, but that's what's under here. And that's what the rendering accelerator option crossed on the back label is. I think these would have come with an 040 as standard, and I don't think they had a heatsink on them. The RAM, I believe, is upgradable, but I couldn't tell you how much RAM this is or what the maximum capacity is. The information online is pretty sort of hard to get. There's not much out there. There's a lot of posts on like Lemon Amiga of people trying to get these to run as an Amiga, but it doesn't have like kickstart ROMs, so you can't just boot up Amiga software or Workbench or anything like that. And I believe there is a way of getting Workbench to load, but it doesn't have. There's no Denise chip to give you any graphics, so there's not much else you can use it for. But as you'll see when I power it on and take you through the interface, I think it's ahead of its time as far as intuitive video editing software. It's just, easy menus. You can get through what you want, and it's timeline based editing, which is what we used to do these days. Okay, it seems a bit slow and old when you start rendering the things, but it's got effects in there, and I'll show you the rest. So I'll put it back together, we'll plug it in, we'll have a look. This is how simple it is. We've got system settings up in the top right where you can adjust the time and enter any codes for software registration, as well as changing the speed of the trackball. This would have originally come with a trackball to use. The trackball I got with this one doesn't work, unfortunately, so someone actually sent me a mouse. Thank you, Pillock, for that one. So I can actually use the machine. This is a PC serial mouse. Now you'd think it being Amiga derived or whatever, that an Amiga mouse would work, and I tried the two Amiga mice I have, and neither of them worked. And then I didn't have any serial PC mice, so yeah, it's great that I've got this one to use the machine, because I thought, oh no, the machine's booting up and then it's freezing, I can't do anything with it. Anyway, it works absolutely fine. In project settings, here we can set the parameters for the video and the audio of the project you're going to be working on. I've got a project in here from last time when I recorded in some footage, and down at the bottom it gives you a non-technical sort of, this is how many hours you can fit onto the hard drive. It's not measured in gigabytes or megabytes or whatever, it's just this is what you can fit. You got your remaining time and for audio and video. You can do a cleanup, and I think you can set how much of this you want to get rid of. So on here for the quality, you can change the aspect ratio of the image, as well as the quality of the video that you're putting into it, and set the audio quality as well. Using this little button here in the bottom right, you can go backwards. And then if we go to video settings, this is where you can set the brightness, contrast, saturation of the inputs that you can feed into it. So they've got inputs for video on the back and on the front. and then options for automatic gain control on those. So you can preview your video you're feeding into it before you do. Back to the main menu. If we go to the record section, you can see we've got the record options, and this will show you the source that you're recording. Back again, we can go to edit, and this will show you any clips down here that you've recorded in, and then you can, this is your timeline up at the top, so you can drag your clips onto the timeline and then apply. You can trim the clips. If you go to specials, you can do slow-mo, fast motion, reverse. You can change it to a still or a strobe. I don't know what the strobe one does. As well as these buttons down the bottom where you've got effects that you can apply to the clips. So you can insert, you can add your clips, whatever, like that. If you go back again to finish, this gives you, so they call it a storyboard, not a timeline, but you can render it. This one's already rendered, and this is what takes a while. So for this 11-second clip that I did, it took about 10 minutes to render. I think there was 2 different effects in there that I used. You can also set your range, and then this record to VCR option is so that you can record it out of the machine. If you had the DV option, you will be able to record back out through the DV port, I believe. So your whole workflow is digital. You know, you get your footage from your camera digitally, put it into the Casablanca, do all your editing, and then export it again digitally, and I guess put it on DVD or something. But you can record it out analog. So what I did for this one is I had an old laptop with S-video output, and I took some footage from a camera and fed it into VLC and played it back on the laptop connected to this, and recorded it into this as I played it back, and then dragged it onto the timeline. And I remember, if I go back again here and go to audio record / edit, I recorded in a song from the laptop. And again, you got the same options here. You can split and trim it and all that. You can copy them, you can change your inputs, and it gives you a level meter, so you can adjust your levels either on the device you're recording from and see where that's at, or you can do it on here as well, which is cool. If we go back again, once you've got your audio recorded in, you can do your audio mix. So lining it up against the footage that you've recorded. On the transitions section, we've got various different transitions. There's quite a few in here. It's there's a good selection considering the you see cone there. Where's it gone? Cone, right. So if I preview this, it will show it in a small window on the screen there, and that's rendering that in real time. I just go back in, still get the cone effect. Now I think I did on this one, it was circular. Is it that one? Preview. No. Disk. Nope. Let me find it. Circle wipe. Yes. Yes. And I found this one was the the coolest. So you can add titles to it, which I did, and you can also add some processing on the image. So if you see on here, I've changed the colour. I up the red slightly to give it like a sepia tinge to it, just to see, just to play with the image processing effects. But there's quite a few different ones in here. Like the fade in and out, you could put that at the beginning or the end of the clip. So let's put fade out, and then how do we preview? Like that, and then it fades out. Okay, so then you can render it. And I can hear the hard drive going, and it's rendering that clip with the fade out on the end. So we might be here a while with this. I think it's only rendering that clip, it's not doing the full 11-second thing. As far as I'm aware, this is the fastest rendering option for this system back then. I think it's still quite quick for the age of it, and considering what it's doing, and it's, you know, it's like a 3D animation and stuff. And I'm quite impressed with the user interface. There are buttons that are in Descript, like these ones down the bottom right, but they're just like quick jumps. Instead of going back to the menu and then back into effects or titling, for example, you can just click it there and it goes straight to it. So if I go back again, you can see these symbols do line up with what's on the home screen, so it's easy enough to just pick it up. And it does come with a manual that's there's a couple of 100 pages in there, but it's all easily spelt out. And to be honest, unless you were really stuck with one part of it, you could probably get away with not even reading it because it's that easy to use. So if I go now, I think play, and it fades out. Now and if we go back, so in here you can add different titles and stuff, and you can use a built-in keyboard. Casablanca. Set your font. There's a few fonts available, but there are others on a couple of discs I've got, so we can turn off bold, italics. And then, yeah, we chose the font, and we can set the colour. Let's see, we'll go for nice blue. And then, okay, on that, Y position of the text. Put that there, and then we can preview it. I can see that scrolling across the top of the image on that clip. Try it again. Yep, there we go. So Y position 100 puts it at the bottom. Choose the background colour. So you got different effects in here. Multicolour roll. Let's preview that. Oh, this might be an additional. Oh no, there we go. Just add a moment. So let's change the background colour to a purpley. It's more lilac, but you know. I'll do. Preview that again. Okay, so we've added that text to. Has it still got the other one underneath? No. Okay, so we've added that text. Cancel that. If we render that out, I have a feeling this is going to take longer than the other fade out transition. I'll come back to that once it's done. Alright, we're just about to finish. Alright, so that's that finished. If we go and play the video now, you can see it's rendered the text there, and that's not rendered. So it's the transition between the two there that needs rendering now. So if we just go back here and go finish, render storyboard, it will render the outstanding effect, which is the circle wipe between the two clips. And that last effect with the text took about 10 minutes to render. So now we can just click record to VCR, and it asks us to get ready with the VCR. So if we click start, that will literally play back the clip and start recording it. And it's done. So that's a brief overview of the Casablanca video editing workstation. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions or comments, if you used one of these back in the day, let me know in the comments.